Well, good morning. Welcome to our April 25th board meeting. We'll start with introductions. I'm Pat Malone, Commissioner and Chair.
Good morning, Sandra Giroux, Commissioner. Nancy Wise, Commissioner.
Vance Cronin, County Council.
Suzanne Hoffman, Interim County Administrator.
In the room,
Jeff Van Arsdale, Benton County Sheriff.
Justin Carlin, Sheriff's Office.
Matt Weatherall, Juvenile Department.
Sarah Siddiqui, EDI Coordinator. Amanda Makepeace, Administrative Specialist.
Corey Brogan, Benton County Public Information Officer.
Erica Michael, Board Recorder.
and who's joining us online?
This is Dawn Dale with the Sheriff's Office.
Morning.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Chair. This is Darren Nichols, just listening in this morning.
Morning, Darren. All right. Are there any announcements this morning? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 3, comments from the public. Are there any members of the public that wish to comment at this time?
Are we recording or is that saying they're recording?
That's the Zoom meeting recording. The host is recording.
I don't know if you were kind of saying.
All right. I don't think I hear any comments from the public. Item number 4, consent calendar.
Move to approve the consent calendar. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Consent calendar is approved. Item number 5, new business. Board of Commissioners letter of support for Justice Reinvestment Grant for the fiscal year 2023-25. Sheriff.
Mr. Chair, does the agenda need to be approved?
Oh, yeah, let's donor number 2.
Sorry, thank you. Let's see, we do have one adjustment to the agenda. Well, I think there's 2. Tracy Martineau will have a short report on the search for a county administrator, and we will have that after 5.2. So I guess under department reports, and then under other, after our relatively short meeting this morning, we will recess and then reconvene at 3 o'clock to talk about Gazette Times editorial of last Sunday, talking about the differences between Benton County and Lynn County.
Mr. Chair, I think that you had mentioned that having Tracy come and discuss the update on the county administrator search was to be 5, that noted it would be under 6.2. So is it going to be 6.2? Just so that Erica has it correct on the agenda.
When is it 5.2? But it's a departmental report. And we already have a 5.2. After, yeah, so 5.2. Oh, after. So is it 5.3 or 6.2?
6.2.
6.2, very good. And Erica, good catch on the agenda. Thank you.
All right. Any other changes to the agenda? If not, consider the agenda approved, and we will now go to new business 5.1. Sheriff. Like the Board of Commissioners letter of support for the Justice Reinvestment Grant for the fiscal year 2023-25.
The owl's on one, I don't care for the owl. Thank you, Chair Malone. Every 2 years, we go through an application process. for community corrections financing through the Justice Reinvestment Grant. And every 2 years, we come before the board and request a letter. I believe 2 years ago, Commissioner Ogerow was the chair at the time. And so I brought with me Captain Carley. He oversees community corrections. So if there's any questions, he would be the subject matter expert. So fire away.
Well, it sounds like this is routine.
Correct.
Yeah,
As part of the process, we received letters from the WCJC, the presiding judge, the district attorney, the board of commissioners, just in letters of support or commitment, depending on what their involvement is with the community corrections process.
Oh, I thought we were special.
I would say that the new element or emerging element of the proposal is an increased emphasis on pretrial. And so that's the only piece that is expanded. Can you tell us a little bit more about what's going to be funded in terms of the pretrial program?
Certainly, with your letter in 2001, we were able to fund our pretrial position, our initial position. Since then, we've added a second position to the pretrial team. We aren't certain what the funding is going to be just yet, so we don't know what the percentage is going to be for that. We know it'll fund at least one position. We're not sure what the funding will be for that second spot.
Excellent, thank you.
Any other?
Yeah, I'll just say I support the letter and thank you for your work on this. I did have one question about the formatting of the letter. And I'm wondering, is the text bolded in the letter? It just looks like the font is bold to me. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. So I think it'd be better just to correct that and then we can sign it.
Okay. I mean, it does look like that.
Just because the commissioners are special.
Highlight, well, I'm happy to make a motion.
Okay.
Move to approve the letter of support from the Benton County Board of Commissioners for the preliminary application from the Benton County Sheriff's Office for the Justice Reinvestment Grant Program for FY 23-25.
Second.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much for your time.
You were second, Sheriff, this one's yours. All right. Next up, 5.2, letter to Corval City Manager Mark Shepard regarding justice system and improvement program.
Chair, I would draw your attention to just an update as of this morning, based on some assistance from Sheriff Van Arsdale on the second page under JSIP projects underway and not bond dependent. The third point under that section where it says hosted by the Corvallis Police Department, you see the area in green, adding the Benton County Sheriff's Department and others, and then the sentence goes on. That was just, we had in crafting this letter following your initial reviews and edits, we had, the staff had focused on one of the trainings with regard to this, in order to highlight the partnership with the Corvallis Police Department, since we are responding to the city of Corvallis with this letter. But we were remiss in not being clear that there were many involved in this training, including our own sheriff's office. So thank you to the sheriff for pointing that out, and we made that one change. And if you have other edits or things you want to suggest, that's the purpose for our conversation today, why it's still in draft. We'll make whatever changes you deem appropriate. And if you approve the letter, then we will be finalizing it with you today.
All right, Erica, did you get that one change?
It's very good.
Any other additions or corrections to the letter to city manager Shepard?
So I see my edits were already incorporated and the sheriff's additions were good.
I have no further corrections either.
And I guess, so assuming we approve this and it's ready to send.
Yes. Do we need a motion? I don't see a motion in the packet.
I would move to approve the letter to City Manager Mark Shepherd with respect to his questions about the Justice System Improvement Program.
Second.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 I,
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for all hard work that went into this. I think it's well crafted. Next up is departmental reports, 6.1. Approval of amendment 10 to the intergovernment agreement, ITA, number 5264 between the state of Oregon, Lynn County, and Benton County for detention unit use at the Oak Creek Youth Correctional Facility. Matt, Rutherford.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
So what this is, there's a couple things going on. So every year I bring to you a detention bed contract, which are the beds that we lease from the Lynn Benton Detention Center for use every year with an associated cost. What this is that I have in front of you is for the facility itself. Back in 1997, Lynn and Benton counties entered into an agreement with the state of Oregon to build the facility. The reason that we're included in this and are part of the negotiation with this is at that time, Benton County committed $93,600 for the land and $175,000 for road improvements for the site is built. So this agreement has been in place since 1997. It's had a few amendments and upgrades, but it expired in 2020 or 2021. Tori Lynn, the director of Lynn County, has been attempting to enter into negotiations to set the contract once again. We had a couple that I had you sign kind of rolling it. That expired December of last year. So Oregon Youth Authority reached out, I think it was in February, and said we need to get this moving after we spent, I don't know, 2 years attempting to do the same thing. And they sent this, what you have in front of you, stating that it's going to be moving forward. The other piece of this that Tori and I have had conversation about is the DOJ attorneys are wanting just one person on the contract, and neither one of us are comfortable with that, given the fact that we have a vested interest in the property and the road improvement. So what I'm asking from you is to allow us to enter into that negotiation with the state back and forth, and Vance will be reviewing everything before we sign anything.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
so what we have in the packet is just a draft, in other words, and we are authorizing negotiation.
Not, it's just saying that the contract is in place and that we'll honor it. And then we're setting meetings with the youth authority to go over what that contract language will look like and bring it forward. Saying that the agreement is in place and we're honoring it as it currently stands, I believe is what you have in front of you.
Okay.
And Lynn County has signed and sent it back up.
I was looking at this and didn't really see anything about budget. That's why I was wondering. But
Yeah, I'm just trying to
it's just an
separate those two.
extension. Yeah, it's just an
Separate those
extension.
two.
Yeah,
Because I'll be bringing another one July, I believe, for the rental of the beds in the
Okay.
detention facility.
okay,
That's a separate issue, and according to this is the facility as a whole.
So this will kind of get us through while you all figure out the rest of it.
Right. I think it expires at the end of the year, if I remember correctly.
It says expires 8/31/23.
Yeah. So we should have something by then, we hope.
All right, any other questions for Matt?
one other question. Are we the only renter of beds at?
No,
No, okay.
no, I know that there's a contract with Lincoln County. And I know that he's working on other contracts. And when I bring that contract forward, I'll bring down the breakdown of our costs and the cost savings that we get based on those other benefits. I just don't have it with me today.
Okay, thank you.
And how many beds do we,
4 currently,
and that number is
been steady. At one point it was at 9, it moved to 7. We've been at 4 since I started. And I believe our average daily rate, I think is 2.6, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
any other questions?
Would make a motion.
I think we're ready.
I move to approve amendment 10 to intergovernmental agreement number 5624 for use of detention space within the Oak Creek Youth Correctional Facility by Linden Counties.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thanks, Matt.
You want the original, Vance?
I just want to, please.
All right, next up, item 6.2, which we added into the beginning of the meeting, and as if by magic, Tracy Martin, come on up. You're up.
Well,
Um,
it's rare that that kind of timing happens for me. Good morning.
Good morning, and you're going to give us a short update on how the recruiting is going for county administrator.
Yes, so it will be very short. As of last Friday, we've received 5 applications, which is a great start for just being a few days into the recruitment. Without actually comparing the data side by side, I think that's a better turnout than what we had last time. So very encouraged by that. I'll continue to give you those kinds of updates as we get more information, but so far so good.
So with the rolling process, we'll start looking at minimum qualifications now and start contacting people just to let them know where we are in the process. Or they know that there's a start review deadline, right? So we don't have to let people know until I think it was the 18th or something this month.
I think it's the 22nd is the first review of
Okay.
applications. But yeah, Heather, I expect will be going over them as they come in and starting to kind of develop I would imagine some kind of a ranking that in addition to meeting minimum qualifications for the position. Heather and I are supposed to be meeting on Friday. So I'll get a little bit better feel for, whether the timing's going to work for us or, depending upon the quality of the pool. And as soon as I know more of that kind of information, I'll share that with you.
Thank you. My biggest concern is not losing people, but again, we did say clearly in the announcement that we wouldn't start with doing applications until that date certain, so.
One of the things that we count on the recruiter to do while this process is going on is maintain those relationships. So I would expect that she is having ongoing conversations with anyone who applies or expresses any level of interest in this position.
Thank you.
Ideally.
Sorry if I missed this. When do the commissioners get to see that information, the applications?
I hope to actually have some of those dates after my conversation with Heather on Friday, but let's assume that we've got a good pool of applicants by the 22nd. Heather will likely have a spreadsheet or some form of presenting that information. We'll invite Heather into one of these meetings to share that information with you. She'll do that along with her recommendations for, based on their paper qualifications or hard qualifications as they presented them, as well as her interactions that she's had with them.
Okay, the 22nd next month, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I will try to be patient. I was really excited.
Happy to answer any questions that you might have along the way, though.
Thank you.
Well, wasn't it just a week ago, last Tuesday, that we got the notice out? So that's seemed like good response for a couple of days.
I think so too. Yeah, I think that was just, that wasn't even a week. I think it's a week today. So, yeah, I'm hopeful that we've had even more over the weekend come through. Yeah, and the fact that we had 5 applications submitted over course of 3 weekdays or 4 weekdays is pretty great also. There is a lot of activity out there on LinkedIn and seeing on social media. So Corey and his teams are doing a good job And then folks within Benton County are doing a good job of sharing that on their social media pages as well. That's super helpful.
Well,
Thank you.
seems like a good start. Anything else?
That's it for now.
So, applications come into both you and then you send them to Heather or vice versa?
They go directly to Heather. They go to Rectelis. And we won't see them until she has done her sort and screen.
So if she has the authority to reject applications if they're not qualified, and we wouldn't see those.
Correct.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. Like I said, off to a good start and looking forward to more good news as the process continues.
All right. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. All right. Next up, item number 7, information sharing. So, amongst the commissioners. Anyone want to lead off?
I had a good session last week out in Alsea with fellow Commissioner from Lincoln County, Katie Jacobson, in the Commissioner's Corner. Probably all told about 25 people present in the Hope Grange. Listened to community concerns and interests, and I shared out those notes with all of you. I think within a couple of days after that meeting, but I just wanted to highlight that the biggest concerns were, as expected, often road related, but also land use. And the community is very challenged by the fact that most of their lands are in exclusive farm use. They're not incorporated, and they have no way of building additional housing. And the fact that they can't build additional housing is making it very difficult for them to hire staff for their school district. Or for any other business that wishes to operate in that community. So it's, they expressed satisfaction with the way that the community development is changing and evolving, but also great frustration with community development in general. So I shared all of those notes with Darren Nichols as well, so that he and staff could get a sense for the interests and needs for Alsea community.
You know if they've ever looked into incorporating and
I don't know what the process and the costs are. They are such a small community numerically. I just don't know.
Did you talk about the getting a new school superintendent?
Yes, they have a new school superintendent who will be with them for this next school year. She comes with experience from, I'm forgetting the name, in the Port Orford area, with the Port Orford schools. And she, it seems like she's got great qualifications for working in a community like Alsea. She will be familiar with the kinds of dynamics she's seeing.
I think that's maybe where Sean Gallagher came from.
He's worked all over. The interim superintendent has, and is based right now in Jefferson County.
But I think he came from Brookings or somewhere on the South Coast.
Most recently.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've just continued to be involved in making presentations about overall justice system improvement program and the bond measure on that.
Well, couple things. Yes, week ago Monday, I did the situational awareness training headed up by Rick Beasley. I think good information. It was based on walking around like a mall or airport, crowded situations, and which I think was good for training. My suggestion was try to figure out how to make that relevant for our buildings and our the environment that we work in, because it can be a pretty good stretch from hundreds of people in the mall or outdoor farmers market type situations to what we encounter on a daily basis. Some of the information would be transferable, but I think maybe a refresher course more specifically tailored to our work environment might be useful. Nancy and I did met with the Farm Bureau to talk about county business, including the bond measure, and I think that, from my perspective, that went well. And, I think that's what I have. You have anything that? And
You know, so if I get going, I'll never stop talking. So I'll just say, I'm gonna be out of town this weekend and out of cell phone service. So if you need to get a hold of me, either come to my campsite or just wait till Monday.
okay. I guess the other thing that we're all dealing with is going through department budget requests for the upcoming biennium, and I think that's going along fairly well. And I think our CFO and team is to be congratulated for making it relatively easy to compare departments, and in the past has not been as well organized. And this is my third budget, and we've made progress each time, but I think this time was a pretty good leap as far as standardizing the format of the information we receive. So kudos to the finance team.
Well, one of the things, so the CSC governing board executive committee meeting, that's all of our meeting?
No,
No.
the governing board is the full board.
Okay,
The executive committee is the one member for each county.
okay, which is you, correct?
Yes.
And I have
It's confusing with
tried
it.
to get that straightened out, and
We keep putting it on our calendars.
haven't been successful yet.
And not having it on your calendar, is that right?
Correct.
Yeah, I think that it's mostly, again, because of the challenges of quorum, just wanting to make sure that all commissioners know that it's there so that someone can be backup for me, for instance, if I can't make it. And all board members are welcome to any of those executive committee meetings.
Good to know.
As if you need more meetings to
So
attend,
much free time. So you are planning on attending tomorrow?
I will be there.
All right, and then I did also want to ask, so the Jackson Street Youth Services event is on Thursday night, I'm planning on going.
I will be there.
Which one?
I have a conflict with a transportation meeting that for some reason starts at 5.
Okay,
So I think that did not allow me to make that.
well, I have.
Going once, going twice, we will. Need more agendas. At At this time, I will recess the board meeting and actually put those two words together. And then open up our service district agendas. We'll start with the 911 County Service District Governing Board. And, open this meeting, and our first item is comments from the public. Are there any comments from the public for the 911 County Service District Governing Board? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 2, the consent calendar.
Move to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Consent calendar is approved. Is there any other business for the 911 County Service District? Hearing none, I will close this meeting and immediately leap into the Library Services County Service District Governing Board. Any comments from the public? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 2, the consent calendar.
Move approval of the consent calendar.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Consent calendar is approved. Item number 3, any other business for the Library Service District? Hearing none, I will close this meeting and reopen our board meeting. And is there any other business for our board meeting at this time? If not, I will recess the board meeting to be reconvened at 3 o'clock this afternoon. One item of business is Benton County's response to the GT editorial that was in Sunday, April 23rd's editorial section of the paper.
What's the location of that meeting?
I assume right here.
Is it here?
No, it's on the second floor.
Oh.
This room is gonna be occupied at that time.
Okay.
And then will we have a virtual link?
It should be the same link as this meeting, because it's a continuation of this meeting.
So we are planning to have virtual
Yeah,
abilities.
yes, we have the owl set up and we're going to do signage to point people upstairs.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no other business, I will recess our board meeting and see you back upstairs at 3 p.m. How they do things?
Perfect.
Oh, perfect. Oh,
You know you did well, I didn't say a word. You know, that's one of the things I always find very amusing is there's always the learning curve to remind folks how to move through various meetings. And about the time you get really proficient, it's time to turn the gavel over to the next person.
Stop recording.